West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Emporia State Federal Credit Union. Learn more at esfcu.com. Text or call the number 620-342-2336 to get started today. ESFCU is the Shovix banking of choice, federally insured by the NCUA.
Woo! All right, football fans. We have football tonight, boys.
Woo! Let's do it.
AFC West football.
We're back.
Looking through the class, we see over here to our left on the TV, we saw a pretty good AFC West group. So, welcome into a special edition of West War Room Rivals. I am Cory, the co-host. Boys, go ahead and give your intros.
All right. I am Austin, another co-host. Fellers, you're up.
I am Tim, also a co-host, representing the Chargers, who are playing tonight. Let's go.
Boo. Oh, boo.
I am the artist formerly known as the third Shovik brother, a.k.a. Orange Crush News. I am Matt, one of your other co-hosts.
And I am the fourth Musketeer, Raider Nation representing here. This is Cody. Let's get going.
Ball tipped and caught! Oh my gosh! The double deflection! Set up the screen. Instead, he'll float it over the middle. Jump ball and it's Powers down the sideline. The rookie from Georgia with the game's first goal. And Clark completed a touchdown.
All right, welcome in to the West War Room Rivals. Again, special edition tonight. Let's start it off by giving a special shout out to Spy Optic, giving us these awesome shades. Again, Orange 20% off at purchase. Guys, please go use the code. They have so many choices. Whether you want some sunnies, some prescription glasses, Spy Optics is the place to go. Orange 20% off. Go to their site. Boys, we got football tonight. I see a TV over here to my left. We're going to have the game cast on. What do we think? Timmy, what are we thinking tonight, buddy?
Well, first and foremost, what I would like to say is by God, is it good to have football back on a Thursday? All right. I know it's preseason. It's the Hall of Fame game. Not a lot of people get excited, but football in July, I mean, it's back. We get to sit here and do what we love doing, and that's talking football. And I'm excited to see some of the rookies on both squads of the team tonight.
Maddie, what are you thinking?
I mean, same thing. I'm always excited. I know a lot of people aren't big fans of preseason, but I am, because it gets a look of like what kind of plays are they going to kind of unleash on their opponents? You know, how are they going to vibe with each other? So I always actually do get ready for preseason. I'm excited to see this game. I'm excited to see that Omarion Hampton will be worse than Ashton Jeanty. It's going to be fun, boys.
Cody?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, if it wasn't for the Chargers, I think this would be a little bit more of an exciting game. But we're going to support our friend Tim, and we're going to watch the game and critique it. And, you know, no Justin Herbert, so we've got the protege, Trey Lance, that's going to start today. I think I'm very curious to see how he does, because he's probably auditioning for a role somewhere on another team. But also another coin of this, not an AFC West team, but an NFC North team, which is arguably another division that can compete with the AFC West. Curious to see what the Lions look like now that they lost half their coaching staff. And I want to see if some of the rookies that they brought in, and if they still look like the Lions, or maybe, you know, we see a little bit of a rebuild mode. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people that doesn't usually get pumped up for preseason outside of like, hey, it's just football time. I kind of feel like it's NBA All-Star game where you don't really get to see what people unleash. They're not gonna give you something to scout, but it does give you some names to look for, to get excited about, that you may not get to see otherwise. And I'm excited for this to be day one of the Trey Lance takeover.
Let's keep pushing that propaganda.
Yeah, I pushed that out
Will
on
not
accident,
happen.
and it's going here. So I'm sure people said that with Alex Smith,
That's true.
Kaepernick and all that with Harbaugh. So
Let's just acknowledge that Alex Smith has gotten the short end of the stick throughout his career. He got benched for Mahomes. He got benched for Colin Kaepernick. Rough start, and he's nothing but a great guy. So, Alex, we'd love to have you on the show, though, dude.
I do love Alex Smith, and even to end it, right? That gruesome leg injury with Washington, like,
yeah.
Oh gosh,
that gives
Did
terrible.
you guys watch that documentary?
I saw
Yeah.
parts of it. Yeah, dude, his leg looks like out of a horror movie.
Yeah, it was rough.
And it Cody said, like, couldn't be a better guy either. But anyway, day one of the Trey Lance takeover. I think he would take the Chargers from below average to average. So we'll see where this goes here.
So, again, there's no rundown tonight. This is purely just watching some football. I do have a few questions throughout that I'm going to drop on the guys just to kind of see, get their thoughts, get their feel for it. So, really to start, guys, let's talk about the 4 members going into the Hall of Fame with Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Antonio Gates, and Sterling Sharp. Timmy, with you being the Chargers guy and obviously a pretty big Charger here on this list, what are your thoughts?
you know, Antonio Gates, first and foremost, I'm happy to see, you know, he's in the Hall of Fame. I'm happy to see all these guys, you know, because I mean, not only are they representing, you know, Gates on my team, but, you know, the other guys represent, you know, the Chiefs and the Broncos and stuff like that. So it is really good to see other members of the AFC West just coming in. And what better way than to have a show tonight, you know, for us than the Hall of Fame game and be able to talk about these Hall of Fame players. Gates, you know, I was fortunate to watch most of his career, if not all. And, you know, he was an undrafted free agent, and the Chargers took a chance on him. And, you know, here we are. And it's a really great moment. And I'm sure, you know, for like Austin and, you know, for the, you know, the Bronco guys, you know, it's really cool to see like one of our team guys in the Hall of Fame tonight. Like, you know, I remember watching when LaDainian Tomlinson got inducted, and so I'm definitely going to be watching the ceremony when Antonio Gates gets inducted this weekend.
Yeah, and we can't leave the Raiders off.
Yeah.
Eric Allen, you know.
Yeah. Eric Allen, Raiders legend, Raiders great. Yeah, it's great to see that the Raiders continuously have, you know, a legacy of Hall of Famers, and it's only going to keep growing. So,
well, and I mean, we can even look at Jared Allen with his time with the Chiefs. Obviously, he went to Minnesota, but I mean, didn't really have much of a fall off. What he was able to do with Kansas City, he was able to, you know, continue and even get better with Minnesota too. So, you know, a lot of AFC West flair in this. Obviously, Sterling Sharp, brother of Shannon Sharp, so has some Bronco ties there. So we're gonna throughout tonight, you're gonna see GameCast on the screen here. Kickoff just happened, and I think the Mayans are actually going first on offense. So
no, they fumbled.
Oh, they fumbled.
Yep.
Just kidding. So there you go, Timmy. Special teams wins championships.
Hey, special teams, you know. So guys, you know, we were kind of talking about, I brought this up, you know, before the show, but to the listeners out there that may not know this, there's actually an interesting stat that I saw today. The loser of the Hall of Fame game has never made the playoffs, like 0-8. Of course, you know, they didn't have the 2011, the 2016, and the 2020. The Hall of Fame game was canceled those years. So in the other 8 years, teams that lose have not made the playoffs. So, I mean, we're looking at Detroit, who was a division winner and, you know, just so dominant last year. And, you know, the Chargers, who were a wild card that many expect them to build on that success. And now, I mean, we could be sitting here having a whole different conversation come December and January when one of these teams may not make the playoffs, all because they lost the Hall of Fame game.
Well, I think Cody made the point earlier, literally as we were starting the show, about the Lions have new coordinators, right? So yeah. I don't think that would affect it enough to where the Lions wouldn't make the postseason. I think that's a little too far-fetched, right? Or what are you thinking, Cody?
You know what's interesting is I don't know if it's coincidence or not. But for example, if we're talking about the Lions, I think, and we'll just look at the Philadelphia Eagles, who lost a lot of their coordinators after they lost the Super Bowl the first time to the Chiefs. You know, they lost their defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, and you can tell that year of them rebuilding was a struggle. Will the Lions have the same thing? I know that the Lions are very popular right now because of Dan Campbell and that energy that he brings. But a lot of people are wondering, now that Ben Johnson is gone, can that same offensive firepower continue? And I think we'll have to see. Now, this preseason game is not going to determine that, but I think it is kind of interesting. I do want to point out, wasn't it not, I forget who the teams were last year, but I remember when the Jets were in the Hall of Fame game, and then the start of their regular season, I think, is when Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. I don't think that has anything to do with or like if anything's bad's going to happen, but it just kind of goes to show, to Tim's point, like the Hall of Fame game, I mean, whether you win or lose, it doesn't really measure if you're going to make the playoffs or not. So,
yeah, I think that's more of like one of those just coincidental stats.
mm-hmm.
You know, like they probably pick teams that are semi-represented in the Hall of Fame class.
Oh, there we go. Trey Lance passed for 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look crisp. Didn't know any better. I'd say it looked better than Herbert.
And in Chris Collinsworth's words, that's a pass only Trey Lance can make.
Oh, yeah. Hey, and only Will Dissly could have made that catch.
Hey,
Will Dissly still in the league?
Yeah, bro. I'm a big Dissly guy. Like, I love Will Dissly. I don't know why or what, but he's just been that guy.
I just hope the Chargers don't have Parham anymore.
They don't.
That's like 7'12", just monster. Yeah, see? Sports nuts. Hopefully Trey makes it. I agree, man. This is day one of the Trey Lance takeover.
Oh, sorry, Matt. We don't mean to cover your face, bud.
No, it's okay. It's ugly anyway. What's up?
Beautiful.
No, you're the best looking guy on the screen. Don't hold yourself.
Maddie, give us kind of what are your thoughts on the Chargers here tonight? Like, what do you think their biggest? I don't know. What's the biggest question maybe the Chargers need to answer here over the next 3 to 4 weeks before the season starts?
Well, one is, can they be consistent? I mean, again, on every show that we've had together, I always bring up the Chargers' inability to be consistent. And that's not just, throughout the season. That's during the games. As I said before, it would be in regards to their run defense. They would be phenomenal in the first half. Like, I want to go back to that Ravens game. They stopped Derrick Henry. I think by halftime, Derrick Henry only had 23 total yards of rushing in a half, and that's not very Henry-like. But then now you get to the second half, and he ended up finishing that game with over 100 yards. So now it's like, okay, can they remain consistent throughout all 4 quarters of football? Because the game's not won in the first quarter, it's won in the fourth. So can they be consistent? And then also, how are they going to gel? They have a young team. You figure what? They just got Tre Harris. They got Omarion Hampton. So this is a young team. How are they going to vibe with some of these older players? And then my last question is, can Herbert stay healthy? As you guys saw, look what he did last season. I think through 13 weeks, he was the only quarterback to throw 1 interception. And he was healthy. And I always tell everyone, like, if he's healthy, he is a force to be reckoned with. The problem is, when he's not healthy, the Chargers do rely on him. They do rely on certain players. It was very evident when J.K. Dobbins was hurt. They went 1-3 without J.K. Dobbins. So it's like, who's going to step up and fill voids if their starting role players go down? So those are all the questions that I kind of want to see get answered this season.
As we just see Hampton getting a carry, I mean, that's a touch. You got to score that, right? Like, you're one-on-one with the defensive back. You got to be able to get in there, and he gets taken down by a leg tackle, right? So, there we go.
There it is.
So
year.
So
my TV is way behind y'all's.
Oh, you're fine. If you want to check out the Gamecast, it's telling you where we're at right now. But
no, I know. I'm saying I wanted to see the play like physically.
Well, we got a Trey Lance touchdown pass to Will Dissly on that 4th and 2 right now. So
yep,
Chargers are on the board. Trey Lance is making his case for being the starter. So
okay.
Actually, so I do, Tim, want to ask you about the Chargers and Justin Herbert. And I think we kind of tried talking about this a little bit when we were having the Bo Nix and the Justin Herbert conversation with Des when we had her on. But let's say the Chargers don't live up to expectations. And I think it's fair to say that we agree that the Chargers' expectations, they have to get in the playoffs. Like that's minimum. Anything less is basically a failure, I think we can say. So if, let's say, the Chargers don't make the playoffs, do you think there's a lot more heat that people will look at Justin Herbert as being the guy that is he really that guy? Do you think that question will start to, present itself if the Chargers don't make the playoffs this year?
Really good question, man. And honestly, absolutely, because I really feel like, Herbert's kind of been put up in that category, and we know that he's great. And we know that he can make lesser talent look good. But the problem is you got to have playoff success. And everything is on the line. He's finally got the same coaching staff for 2 years in a row. He's not had that in the NFL. And so I think if you go in year 2 under Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman and the same coaching staff and you miss the playoffs, then I absolutely believe that there is going to be pressure and there's going to be maybe some conversations had that is Justin really going to be that guy that we thought he was and that, that we paid him to be, or do we need to reevaluate and maybe look for a different option, a cheaper option at quarterback? Because, let's face it, Harbaugh doesn't have to have elite quarterback play to win. Colin Kaepernick wasn't elite by any means. J.J. McCarthy at Michigan wasn't elite. He had a strong defense, a really, really great run game. So the fact that now, you have Justin Herbert, who is this great elite quarterback, as some want to say, and then he misses the playoffs, I 100% think that maybe next offseason, a reevaluation needs to be had. It's
interesting considering he's got that quarterback extension he just signed. So, if you're not getting your money's worth out of him, that's going to be a huge question mark. Before we continue, guys, let's give a special shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to Emporia State Federal Credit Union. Thank you guys for supporting the show. Check out esfcu.com to get, special rates or get a free checking account. They are supported by, or not supported by, they are insured by, Austin, help me out. I always forget this part.
Yeah, federally insured by the NCUA.
That was the term.
They are the Chauvins Bank of Choice.
The Chauvins Bank of Choice. Yes, they are.
The Chauvins Bank of Choice. There it is.
And then also we want to give a special shout out and thank you to our other sponsor, Field Ops. They are a veteran-owned company that does field markings and field work for your athletic events or any other events that you guys inquire about. So all the information is listed in the description below as the Lions take back this kickoff and actually hold on to the ball.
And I want to give a shout out to Jeff from T-Mobile today. Jeff, if you're
shout out
here and you're able and you're watching right now, Jeff, salute.
iPhone's working great.
It's heavy.
Made everything smooth. Everything went smooth. Took under an hour. We're good. So Jeff, T-Mobile on Manchester Road. Anyone in St. Louis, go see him. He'll get you guys taken care of. So I know he was super excited about, watching the game tonight. And not only that, he's a huge football fan himself. He told me he was a Bengals fan. I didn't question it.
What?
I didn't question it. I did tell him Carl Pickens will be on here Monday. Bengals legend. So hopefully Tuesday, sorry, August 5th. So man, it's just running together now, guys. It truly is just running together right now. So
yeah,
a good reason why we have our team calendar, right? So
it's funny that we have all these guests that are coming on, and I just made a graphic about what's coming up, and I feel like I've got to update it again after we had news about some other players that we'll talk about later or on a future date. But it's like, oh great, I got to update this graphic again. So
yeah, sorry about that, Cody.
It's all right. You're just doing a good job, and I think that's what's frustrating.
I mean, it's a good problem to have right now.
It is a great problem to have.
It is a great problem to have. So
yeah, I want to go into something Timmy said real quick. It wouldn't be a full football Chargers conversation if I didn't have some pushback to a couple sentences he said.
Here we go.
I'm gonna keep it simple,
let's hear it.
But this is how it's gonna go. He said it a couple times about Justin Herbert being a great elite quarterback.
Oh no.
Oh
no.
All I'm saying is there's only 3 to 5 quarterbacks who are in the great to elite category. So it's not even a shot at Herbert, but do you really think that Herbert is in there with like Josh Allen, Burrow, Mahomes, like he's not in that tier yet, right?
Oh,
I mean, what would prevent him? I mean, other than playoff, wins, which is not all on him, but I mean, obviously the 4 interceptions is kind of a big thing. But I mean, those playoff losses are not all on him. I mean, he's putting up the numbers year in and year out. He just doesn't have, maybe he doesn't have the talent. Maybe he doesn't have the right coach. Maybe he doesn't have the right players around him. I mean,
maybe he doesn't have the right health. Again, like this was his first full season since his rookie year. So
well, and even then he still played hurt, guys. Like he had that foot injury and he was dealing with some rib injuries for some of the season that he still managed to play through and still, protected the football. So yeah, I will, maybe not elite because maybe that's like only 4, but he is definitely a great quarterback, so.
And that's where I was trying to get at. I feel like even with how Mahomes has played for 2 years, like I feel like he's even teetering on that Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and this isn't a knock. Like these are still all good right? Baker Mayfield, he's never going to be considered elite great, but he's up in the really good quarterbacks. And I think that's where Herbert's at, because I just watching as a fan, right? There's not a lot of people can do what the Burrow and Lamar and Josh Allen are doing. And old Patrick Mahomes, it's been a couple years. So even I'm hesitant to say that. I think I'm just going off of respect for what he has done.
Right.
But yeah, so that's where I was at. I'm like, I do think he's good. Great might even be a stretch still. But it is, once you get past that 3 or 4, whether you label him as good or great, right? It's just not putting him up there.
Right. Sports Net saying, can I get an amen that football is back? Amen. Let's go.
Amen.
You know what? When I'll be excited about football being back is when we have, I think it's the second preseason game for most teams where they play a majority of their starters and they actually put a little bit more emphasis on, game plan and all that stuff. I think when I see the second week of the preseason, I think I'll be a little bit more excited just because there'll be a lot more action, more like what our teams will kind of look like rather than right now, not that this Hall of Fame game isn't still a decent game even to start, the preseason, but it's not up to that quality yet. We're not seeing week 1 stuff quite yet because week 1 with the Chargers and the Chiefs in Brazil is going to be another level. And I think that's another thing to get excited for football about. But I think I want to see what our teams look like on the second week of preseason to see the actual starters, rotations. I want to see what that looks like.
See,
I
you
didn't
have
know that
some
Raider fans got
teams,
excited, but
some of the teams and coaches actually like Andy Reid. He'll play his starters for a series or 2, each game. It doesn't, except the final one now, but he'll play his starters every game for at least a series.
Yeah,
and I think that's why the Chiefs and some of these other old school coaches start out the season quicker, is because they've at least gotten 1 to 2 series every game for a month now. Instead of, hey, our starters are going to play, they're going to play 5 snaps in the game 2, and then they're done.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Reid and some old school coaches are like, no, we're going to play our dudes all the time. We're not going to play scared. We're not going to overdo it, but they're still going to play.
So fun fact is I pull up NFL.com and QB rankings by division. Can you guys guess where the AFC West ranked in the QB power rankings with an average? This is an average QBI rank of 12.5.
Is this based on 2024 or projected for 2025?
Yes, going into the season.
I think that they're minimum number 2.
I think they would be last.
Seriously?
I would probably
Okay.
say somewhere in the ballpark of 6 or 7.
Maddie?
I would go 7-8.
Yeah, they're number 1 with an average of 12.5.
Huh.
Bo Nix comes in at number 20, Patrick Mahomes at number 7, Geno Smith 12, and Justin Herbert 11, which averages out to 12.5, which is number one.
Going into this year.
That's why I asked. Is it based on last year? Because we'd be dead last because just on the Raiders quarterbacks alone.
Yeah, that's why I said last. I guess I misinterpreted where we were coming from on that. That's my bad. I was thinking Aiden O'Connell and the Raiders last year.
Exactly. Well, that's why I was like, wait, are we heading into this year, like for 2025? Yeah. Okay, I got this number.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, I mean, that just again shows you the depth that they think that the AFC West quarterbacks have.
Wait,
Aiden O'Connell is the QB1 in Las Vegas, right?
Oh my God.
We all know Aiden O'Connell is going to be the starting quarterback week 1 for the Raiders.
He's going to be
as long as he fixes his shoulder pads.
He's going to be a first string bench warmer is what he'll be. And that's fine. It's okay. Stay ready.
Can we talk about those individual ratings though, real quick, where they thought Geno and Herbert were basically the same, and then Bo Nix as the worst?
Hey, I'm okay with this.
Well, I mean, is this like leading into the season, right? This is like they're projecting. Yeah. So, I mean, listen, second-year quarterback, they're probably hedging their bets on the sophomore slump because let's be honest, like the amount of hype that Bo Nix has going into year 2 is almost alarming of like maybe it's a little too high of expectations. He had a good season, but wow, that's like a huge leap forward in year 2. And that doesn't usually happen for, second-year quarterbacks. Usually they kind of come back down to earth a little bit. So Bo Nix really has to like put on a hell of a performance to meet that expectation that a lot of people around NFL circles think that he's going to get to. And I think people are going to get disappointed that he's probably going to be middle of the pack.
Well, and that's why I wanted the whole picture. Don't you think Geno and Nix are closer than Geno and Herbert?
I would think Nix and Herbert would be closer, but.
Well, I think it depends. Like, are we talking like closer in terms of like statistics, like air yards and touchdowns? And I think,
whatever this rating goes off of.
Yeah, sure. I think it's Herbert and Nix as like fighting for second. And of course, Mahomes at the top of that, but I think
the whole thing, I get Nix at 20, but I guess I wanted to take those three into consideration that they actually thought Nix or Herbert and Smith were back to back. And then Nix as like the outlier.
Well, and I mean, Geno Smith, I think if we're looking at what he did the last few seasons in Seattle, he is a considerable upgrade to Aiden O'Connell or to and to Gardner Minshew. That's a fact. He is going to be a bit of an upgrade for them, but also like we don't know what this offense is going to look like. It's going to be brand new to majority of them with Chip Kelly. So, I think it'll be better. It can't be any worse than what we had when we had Antonio Pierce, having who was the guy, the Bears, Luke Getsy. It can't be any worse than that. So I think we only go up from here with the Raiders offense.
Yeah, that surprises me still a little bit though.
And I was gonna get Matt's opinion on it, but I'm in the sense of I'm okay with Bo Nix kind of coming in where he's at because he puts enough pressure on himself, right? He also plays for a coach who's going to put pressure on him. But if you just sit back and watch them practice right now, you hear what the teammates are saying about Bo. He's more laid back. He's more tuned in. He's getting reads quicker. He knows exactly where he wants to go pre-snap, which is what he wasn't comfortable with last year. I'm all for him flying under the radar and just come into the season, stand on your business, do what you need to do. And at the end of the day, it's kind of like, and Timmy, you may be able to, like, it's when you see the rankings, right? The AP top 25, right? Like those are just rankings. No team's going to pay attention to what their, rankings are for us. They're for the fans. They're for the media, So, I mean, take the rankings with kind of a grain of salt. I mean, Bo still hasn't proved anything. And I've been pretty upfront with that in our episodes that we've talked about it. Like, I still had Justin Herbert over Bo Nix, right? But I said at the end of the season, it wouldn't surprise me if this is the year that Bo takes that next step and jumps Justin Herbert in the standings as far as quarterback rankings. But Matt, I was just letting them know that I kind of like Bo being where he's at as far as, 20th, like go under the radar, fine, that he has enough pressure on himself and from, playing with a guy like Sean Payton. So what are your thoughts on the 20th ranked?
Same as you. I'm okay with it. What you look at what Bo Nix is doing now, and I kind of covered it, and you kind of hit it because I can hear you, making your points as well. He looks so much more confident now, and I think he is going to surprise a lot of people as well. Like I'm fine with him being under the radar. I'm fine with him, not getting as much credit as, let's say CJ Stroud was getting last year going into his sophomore year. Everyone was kind of like, oh, Stroud is going to be this elite guy. And he still may have a chance to be an elite QB, but look what happened last season, and I'm kind of glad that Bo Nix is kind of like, in that 20th spot, because now it's like the ceiling. What's the word? What's the phrase I'm looking for?
You can only go up from where he's at.
Yeah, exactly. He can only go up because either he's going to meet the expectation or he's going to exceed it, and I feel like he's going to exceed those expectations just because of, I know you can never really rely too much on training camp because everyone's like, oh, everyone does well at training camp. But if you just hear like the reports coming out of the camp, he looks confident. He's getting his reads off faster. He's going through all his progressions. He's more decisive now. He's not seeing ghosts in the pocket. He's mentoring these veteran guys. He's mentoring Cortland Sutton, who just landed his huge contract, So he, all the younger guys are coming to him and he's giving them tips. And this is only year 2. And the offense, he's really kind of like, with the help of Evan Ingram, promoting that unit cohesion. Like, I think, Cory, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is the more unified they've been since the Peyton Manning era. This team just looks like they are a tight-knit group. Like, they are like, this is it. This is who we're riding with. And I think Bo Nix has a lot to do with that. So I'm kind of excited to see what he's going to do. And again, like, he's either going to meet the expectation where they put him or he's going to exceed it.
Yeah, Timmy, let's get back to the game real quick in the Chargers. What are some of the things you're kind of hoping to see with the defense this year? Obviously, last year they had a pretty good defense, but again, I think they got better just in not having Bosa anymore to worry about if he was going to play or not going to play. So honestly, that's kind of a big relief off the defense. Now it's next man up mentality. What are you wanting to see from the defense maybe during the preseason to get kind of locked in for that week 1 matchup with the Chiefs?
Oh, yeah. So what I want to see is, I want to see how the depth at defensive end, the Chargers have great depth there. And so, like, I'm not worried about that, but I want to see, like, okay, because it was Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa as the starters when Bosa would play. I want to know who's going to be like, hey, I'm that alpha male. I'm the number 2 right behind Khalil Mack. I want to play opposite side of Khalil Mack. So I really want to see the guys up front and that front 4, front 7 really. Like, I want to see one of them guys just absolutely grab a hold of that spot and be like, hey, I'm the number 2 defensive end, or I'm the number 2 edge rusher on this team, and I am the starter. So for me, I don't even want to try to pronounce his name, but you guys know it's like Tutalioli or something like that. Or
we know which one
I really want to like see like him just kind of like be that guy that steps in and says, hey, I know I'm a younger talent, but this is my spot. And I really kind of want to see like how the secondary performs, because that, Quentin Jammer kind of pointed that out last night, right? That, he would like to see that secondary be a little bit more than what they are. So, Jesse Minner, the defensive coordinator, he's really got to get his players locked in. And I mean, let's face it, we got to get to the quarterback because Patrick Mahomes, Bo Nix, and even Geno Smith twice a year, and that's just in the division. So, like I said, for me, it's got to be like who's going to be the starter opposite of Khalil Mack, and also who's going to be the guy that subs in when Khalil Mack or the starter needs a break. So the defensive line for me is where I'm really wanting to see somebody just lock it in and lock it up.
Well, they locked it in now because they just got a pick.
Yeah, they're starting a drive on the 6-yard line and in first and goal right now for the Chargers.
See, I like that running back.
Yeah, Cody, I want to ask you, Cody. So you guys obviously signed Jamal Adams after the releasing Christian Wilkins.
Mm-hmm.
Weird situation. We're not going to get into all that. We're not going to get into all that. But we had talked about the Jamal Adams signing, and then we heard reports of they're going to move him to linebacker.
Love it.
And I was sitting in my mind, I hear this, and I'm like, holy cow, that would be genius. Lay it out for us on your thoughts on what their plans may be for still a guy he's 29. If he can stay healthy, he's still one of the better players.
I mean, listen, when we had our conversation about looking about free agency, talking schedules and what our teams needed, I was one of the two positions we needed when I said this was safety and linebacker. And fortunately, with getting Jamal Adams, I don't think he's not a very good safety in today's game where you need somebody to really watch the middle. But he'll lay the wood down on you for sure, which I think his athleticism at the line of scrimmage with that linebacking set, I think is where he's best. And he can also help in coverage too, I think, which is where like we're going to start seeing a little bit more of like a bigger size safety that can also be a hybrid linebacker, which I think this is kind of like Pete Carroll and Patrick Graham's a little bit of like just to see if we can get more competition. Cause Devin White, he's been looking a lot better. Obviously we've added a couple other pieces, but getting a Jamal Adams who can help us on third down when it comes to passing down situations, I think really does help. And just like what you said, I think the apprehension I have is, can he stay healthy? That's a huge one. And then also, is he going to remain the same size, or is he going to add a little bit of muscle to him? Just because in terms of linebacker, he's a bit small for the position in terms of like weight. So is he going to kind of up his weight a little bit to where he's playing a little bit with more force? But I think this gives the Raiders defense a little bit of flexibility when they do a zone. They want to go to man, and they don't have to worry about a linebacker going on a back. So we'll see. I think Patrick Graham, the way that he likes to dial up his defense, he really likes to make the front take care of get to the quarterback, but he likes to have guys that just wait for those mistakes. Jamal Adams, I think, will be a very interesting linebacker hybrid kind of thing. So I'm curious to see if the rest of the NFL follows this, if it turns out well.
No, I think the overlooked thing of Jamal when he's healthy is he's one of the best pass rushers. That's not like a edge rusher, right? Mm-hmm. So I can already see them already thinking of schemes to like a half-second delayed blitz right off of Crosby because people are going to swarm to him. And I think you're going to see Jamal Adams one-on-one with running backs a lot as a pass rusher.
Yeah.
So I actually think the biggest thing here is after that's out there a little bit, not only is that going to help your pass rush out a little bit,
mm-hmm.
but I think that opens things up for Max Crosby just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Which if that's all Jamal Adams can give you is a little bit of pass rush and it makes life that much easier for Crosby,
mm-hmm.
then it's a great signing.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if he only plays 9 games, but for 9 games, that little bit he plays improves the pass rush in general and for Crosby.
Yeah.
Then it's a success because he's outside of actual edge rushers and like pass rushers, he is a legitimate pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. I think there was one year he had like 9.5 sacks.
Yeah, he had a lot of it too. Is just he has a high motor, and I think he's even explained this before. He doesn't go 100%, but what he does is he changes the dynamic of the play because he's making he's making the quarterback have to do something that is off schedule because he's pressuring him, and he does not give up. He's the guy with such a high motor, and you think that he's gassed on this one. No, he comes right back to you. And to continue your point too with the Jamal Adams, I think what's going to be very interesting is when they're dialing up the blitz on third down, I think we're going to see a super fast, safety / linebacker like Adams. It's going to come across the edge and it's going to surprise a lot of quarterbacks and really disrupt that play. And if anything, it might actually, to your credit, like what you're saying, helping out Crosby, that quarterback, that running back, whatever, is probably going to fall right in the arms of Crosby because they're trying to avoid Adams when he comes off the edge or if he's coming up the middle. And yeah, I think you're right. It's going to really take a lot of pressure off of Crosby, and it's going to open up a lot for the other guys too.
Yeah, and it's not like we need things to be easier for Crosby.
Yeah. I mean, I want him to be easier for Crosby.
And if you look at it too, how many times, in the Steelers days did we see Troy Polamalu, who was a safety, line up as a linebacker? So it's the same thing. Like, how many times do you see like these safeties line up and stack the box like they're linebackers? They may not be like, rated high in like sacks, but I mean, like some of them are just really good run stuffers. And I think Jamal Adams is going to be just that, which is something the Raiders really need help on, is stopping the run, So I think moving him to that spot is going to be, he could be a Swiss Army knife, that multi-tool. So
Well, I do
Yeah.
want to say too, with some of the years of the Raiders defense that they've suffered with is on third down when it's a passing down. They don't have a coverage linebacker that can stay with the back, stay with the tight end. And usually what would happen is the Raiders would have a really good stand on first and second down. And some occasions, like they get home to the quarterback and, let's just assume it's the Chiefs. Mahomes is working on a 3rd and 12, but yet because of Kelsey's ability to be creative off the line of scrimmage, or because we don't have a linebacker that can match up to really a shiftier, receiver, they would get lost, and on third down they get burned. And then what happens is, as you continue to move the chains on the offensive side, that defense wears down, which is what would happen with the Raiders. So getting a guy that might be able to help in coverage on third down is something that the Raiders haven't had in a very, very long time, if ever. And so even just an idea of Jamal Adams being able to help in that aura part of that defense might even help get the Raiders off of the field to get back on offense on momentum swings or whatever. But that's something that the Raiders never had, is a third down like stopper.
Yeah, and now you technically had two of them. Devin White's known for his athleticism. I wouldn't say great coverage linebacker, but he's a good coverage linebacker given his speed.
Yeah.
So I think those two actually complement each other very well. Jamal Adams would clearly be the better pass coverage guy. I mean,
naturally. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but now, I mean, if those two roll out there together, you have two athletic, both can work in the pass game. That it goes from a weakness to a strength if Jamal Adams is able to make something happen there, because you need more than one, right? Like you can have one great one, but it doesn't really matter if we can just exploit your other one.
Yeah.
We'll just see where you're at, and then we'll just go away from you. So I think this could be a very under the radar but massive signing that if it goes well, I don't think it'll take but 5 or 6 weeks for people to realize that the Raiders got one here.
As long as he stays healthy, just like what Cory said. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Timmy, let's get back to the Chargers real quick. I want to give you the floor, and I want you to talk about the rookie that you keep bringing up that you're really super excited about for the Chargers this year.
Yeah, so many people are not going to know this name. He wasn't like a high pick, but for me, I watched a lot of this receiver in college, and when he got drafted, I was really excited, and that's Keandre Lambert-Smith. He's got a catch for 28 yards already, and the Chargers defense just intercepted the ball, so let's go Chargers.
It's preseason.
I think it's football, bro. Like, you're just mad because your team's not good enough to be in the Hall of Fame game.
What?
Okay, so back to what I was saying. Keandre Lambert-Smith, I think he has that dog in him, right? He's the cousin of Cam Chancellor, and I think he's not going to be the 1 or the 2, obviously, but I think, coming in the slot receiver at maybe the 3, like if Quentin Johnston can't find his hands this season. I'm really excited to see how they use Keandre Lambert-Smith. I think he could really add another element to the passing game that Justin Herbert really kind of needs. And so I really would think that Keandre Lambert-Smith could come in and be an impact player that, the offense needs. And I mean, who doesn't like a wide receiver in like the 5th round, but he's the cousin of Cam Chancellor. So I think he could be good. On the opposite side, though, Isaac Tesla for the Lions, he is actually one of those ones that I watched a lot at Arkansas, and I thought that was a really good move that the Lions drafted him as well. I was actually going to talk about him when he made that catch just a few plays ago. So those 2 wide receivers, late round picks, but Tesla was a 3rd rounder, and I think Lambert was a 5th. So,
well, and it's seems to be where the gem receivers are, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone can talk about the 1st, 2nd round guys, 3rd round, even the 3rd round guys, but then you get into like the 4th, 5th, even the 6th and 7th round guys, and then you get really into the undrafted guys who kind of stand out and make moves. I mean, I think the Chargers may have actually found a couple on top of being able to find the tight end. The one from Syracuse, Gadsden. So yeah, I like the pieces that the Chargers are putting around. So Maddie, let's kind of take it to you. Not Harvey, not Barron. Which rookie?
I think for me, the rookie that I'm expecting to stand out the most, and right now he's kind of working his way up, is Q Robinson.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, and from what I'm hearing and training, and who is it? I want to say Savion, the kid out of LSU. I don't know how to say it.
Savion Williams.
Yeah, Savion Williams. Both of them are doing very well in training camp, picking up Vance Joseph's defense, blending in with the team. And from what I'm hearing, like they're racking up sacks. And this is not against not just like the second and third team. Like they're going up against the first team guys, and they're getting sacks. And this is good because I'm very scared.
Savion Jones.
Savion Jones. There we go. And they're getting sacks against these first team guys, Garrett Bowles, Quinn Miners. They're beating them in the pass rush. And that's good because I was very skeptical of both of them because I want to say Jones didn't really have a whole lot of playing time, and neither did Robinson. They came in the game and they made impacts, but they didn't play a whole lot. So I was very skeptical. And now that they're in and they're doing well and they're beating the first team guys and they're putting the work in, those are my standout guys. And then, Pat Bryant is another one. Him and Marvin Mims are battling Devon Villay are battling for wide receiver too. Villay's kind of got that edge over him, but Pat Bryant's sneaking in there with Marvin Mims. So I would not rule him out.
Let's talk about the Chiefs.
Damn it.
Yeah, I know. So one name that I keep seeing that's standing out right now is Royals.
Yeah.
I know Patty had a couple nice passes to him, and again, training camp. But I mean, these guys are still playing hard, practicing hard, right? So I mean, yes, you take everything very lightly as far as like what you hear and what what it is. But this is a receiver that I know we talked a little bit about. So let's go to our resident Chiefs guy. Is it Royals for you or is it someone else?
It's not. I mean, I'm excited for him. Y'all know me. I'm excited for all the trench guys.
Of course, you'd be a contrarian.
Well, I like the trenches, and everyone makes a big deal about it. I love the fight between the two rookies, Simmons and Gelati, or however you say his name. I love that. Like, it's training camp. It's 3,000 degrees here in the Midwest. Like, tempers are going to flare, but it means you're out there pushing yourselves. You're trying. You give a shit. I love that. So those two, but one that's been sticking out is Norman Lott, the D tackle from Tennessee.
Yeah.
They said he's kind of been popping off, like just jumping off the screen. And you can say what you want about the Chiefs offensive line. They got studs in the middle. So the fact that he's even kind of jumping off the screen, that gets me excited because we've never had a really good complement to Chris Jones. We've had a lot of really good role players beside him. But if we can truly get that like dynamic person up the middle with Chris Jones to make things for, George Karlaftis and other edge rushers, to me, it all starts in the trenches. So if we fix the left tackle with Simmons, we get D lineman depth with Gelati and Norman Lott, like that's where it all starts and ends for me. So those are the ones that I'm excited about the most, those three. Like Royals, Rashard Smith. Yeah, Andy's going to find some way to use them a little bit, but the three trench guys are the ones who I think there's a easier path for impact, and the fact that they're taking a hold of it and showing something right now, it's worth getting excited about.
I think what I wasn't happy to see, sorry, Tim, I don't mean to cut you off, but I don't think what I was not happy to see on social media was just with Josh Simmons. Is it Josh, right? It's Josh Simmons is his name. Yeah. Him standing up for himself as a rookie against a defensive end that's coming off. As a rookie, he's enforcing his will. And just like what Bethany said a couple episodes ago, where he is turning heads at camp and he looks like he's getting healthier faster than they anticipated, which is not great because in the draft, post-draft, and I think we even talked about this on the draft episode that we had, that the fact that they had that Simmons fell to them at the end of the first round was criminal in and of itself, just because he had a high rating out of Ohio State. And the fact that the Chiefs wound up with him bottom end of the first round is frustrating because no other team thought that he would bring value. And the Chiefs, taking flyers late round, first round again, probably found a diamond in the rough. And that's not great for the league. Like, I don't like that for the league because I'm tired of the Chiefs getting these players and the rest of the NFL is not up to speed already. Like, no offense, but in the last couple of years, this Chiefs dynasty has felt like the Golden State Warriors, where it's like, okay, we need somebody to come and knock them off. This is getting old, but teams need to actually do their jobs and find quality guys and not let the Chiefs have these great quality players drop in their hands. Like, the league needs to, the rest of the NFL needs to catch up to defend themselves against the Chiefs. This is getting ridiculous.
Well, isn't that what we used to always say with the Patriots back in their day? Like, how did this person fall to them at 31-32? How did they fall to them at 31-32? So I can get where you're coming from, because I remember during the Patriot days, it always annoyed me. Obviously, as a Chiefs fan, I love it going my way. But yeah, I get your frustration because I used to do it all the time with the Patriots. But yeah, it is a little shocking, especially at a premier position, right? Like, okay, even if he misses the first few weeks or something, the fact before this injury, he was slotted as like a top 5 to 10 guy, like one of the first 2 tackles.
Yep.
You don't think someone mid-teens or early 20s would take a flyer on a premier tackle?
The Bengals should have. They need offensive line help, like more than defensive help at certain times, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And anyone who watched the Chiefs last year, and specifically the Super Bowl, knows that the tackle, like, that's what hindered them in a lot of games and the Super Bowl. And so, like you said, teams just idly stood by and watched a guy like Josh Simmons fall. It really is criminal for you guys. For us, it's like, hey, we're lucky again. But I agree. I want to get any of your guys' perspectives, though, like on the fight you saw between like Simmons and the other rookie Gelati or whatever. Like, is that stuff you would like you enjoy seeing? And like, if that was your team, or are you on the other side of like, why are you getting so heated? Like, it's training camp. Why are you doing this? I want to get other perspectives to see if I'm the only one who thoroughly enjoys that kind of stuff.
No, I love it. I love it because that means like you're being competitive. Like, if I'm getting under your skin as a rookie, that means I'm making you frustrated. And that's competitiveness right there. That means like this guy is earning his roster spot, and the other guy, like, hey, why am I losing to the rookie? And again, like you said, it's hot, you know, the two-a-days, the heat. If I'm getting under your skin plus all that, I'm doing something right. And I love that. I love being competitive. I love the chirping. I love, you know, the brawl. Like, obviously, like, I don't want anyone getting hurt.
Right.
So I don't know why you would like to try and take a swing on someone with like a helmet on. You know,
I'll never understand that.
Yeah.
I'd rather you just, you know, snatch a chain off a crab tree and call it a day.
Still a classic.
Still a classic. 2 chains, you know.
Wow.
But again, yeah, I love it. It means like you're being competitive. And then at the end of the day, what do? They hug it out. Hey, That's it. There's no hard feelings. I'm just being competitive. You know, so I love it.
That was like when Garrett Bowles said he was really close to punching Nick Benito in the throat. He's like, I don't know what he's doing, but I just want him to punch him in the throat. And I was like, oh, yeah.
See, but I love that stuff, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't want to say players take this time off or don't take it serious, right? Like, but when I see that, it kind of reaffirms, like, as a fan, that like they really are putting in the work and the effort, and they give a shit right now to make their game, like, just the team and themselves better. I don't want to see you guys out there dancing with brooms in circles and doing all that. I would rather see you guys line up and fight each other. Again, don't hurt each other. Do something besides swing at a helmet. I agree with that, but I'd rather see that than kind of out there just not trying and not being competitive. Because I don't know, like you said, as a fan, I'd like to see them care from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, at the end of the day, the game is technically for us, right? We're the fans, like we're the consumer, we're paying it, we're doing all this. So I like seeing the fight. So I'm glad at least one person agrees with that.
So I agree with it because it's training camp and like you're trying to prove your worth. Both are rookies, so they both have a lot to prove in this league. I will say I like it in training camp. I just hope that they realize like, hey, we're like going against the best of the best here. Like the Chiefs within each other, they're going against the best of the best. So yeah, tempers will fly. Don't let that carry on to a game and be in a situation where you decide you want to grab a guy's face mask or punch him in the head, and then that's a 15-yard penalty, and then maybe that costs the game. So as long as it doesn't hurt them in game, I'm all for it. I think like you guys said, competition, the best of the best, and we're going to find out if we made the right call in drafting you or if we should have taken somebody else. So, but if it goes into the game, then we have issues.
Yeah, I'd have a different tune if that, we're talking about this and it cost the Chiefs a victory or something. Definitely different tune.
But I mean,
training camp part helps.
It's Andy Reid, so like that aspect like kind of goes out the window because I mean, let's face it, the players are going to respect Reid and not be in that situation.
Well, I think we could say that for all four of our teams, right? Our coaches will have things under control.
I think this is the first time in a long time our division has like 4 quality, respectable coaches. I think, like, to carry on Tim's point, is if this were to happen during the regular season at like a normal practice, like week 11, I'd maybe be a little bit more, okay, maybe something's going on. I'd be concerned about the locker room and stuff like that. But also, and I do want to give credit to this, and maybe this is a hot topic later on down the line that we talked about. I think a conversation about Andy Reid probably being the best coach ever in NFL history is on the table, because look at what happened with Travis Kelce at the Super Bowl. I want to say it was against the 49ers, where he had that blow up, got in Andy Reid's face, let him have that moment, calmed him down. Travis Kelce came out and he absolutely just had a heck of a game, and Andy Reid allowed him to have that, but also kept him under control. But giving him that space to allow him to have that high emotion and not let it fly off the handles. And like, for example, George Pickens, who lets his emotions carry over to a game and ruin it, where Andy Reid kind of makes you harness it a little bit. And that's just leadership and coaching, I think. But in preseason, or at least in training camp, I love to see a little bit of grit. I love to see a little bit of fight for competition, and I mean, I hope that they are fighting for it, because in theory, like, they're fighting for a roster spot, like, and some of them, it's their only opportunity. So I hope I see a little bit of grit, but I also hope I see a little bit of camaraderie of like, bringing them in and stuff like that. Because the one thing about training camp is it's hot. These guys are frustrated. They're battling every single day. Maybe sometimes it's been 3 days in a row that Max Crosby has blown up a play, and maybe this guy's had enough of it, and they have a little bit of a incident on the field, but it gets squashed after that because you're just frustrated. And I like seeing that play out during the preseason and during training camp. But if we're still doing that in the regular season, I don't know if that's a locker room thing or just an accountability thing or whatnot. But I get more concerned when that stuff rolls into the regular season.
Yeah, and I think you still have the old school mentality of coaches here, right? You still have Pete Carroll, you still have Harbaugh, Sean Payton. Like, these guys they're going to demand respect still, right? Like, hey, as long as this isn't going to become a distraction and it's not going to be like a daily thing, get it out of your system now and then move on. Don't let it carry over. We get it. You're here for the roster spot. You're fighting for a roster spot. It's hot. It's the dead ass of summer right now. Like, first preseason games are getting ready to start. That could be your one and only preseason game. Yep. That literally could be your one. This could be your one and only preseason, like, training camp, right? Like, you won't, like, it's not guaranteed. It's not. That's something we should have probably asked Quentin Jammer yesterday. Like, hey, what are going through some guys' mind? Like, I know for him, he was top 5 pick, but I'm sure he still has some of those training camp jitters because he had mentioned Rodney Harrison last night, right? Like, walking into a locker room and now you got a guy like Rodney Harrison and you're like, I'm not big dog anymore. Like, I'm walking into a locker room and there's bigger players that have done more than I have. Yeah, I'm maybe the hot name coming in from the draft class and whatnot, but yeah, man, I do want to see a fight here and there, but there's a fine line of right and wrong of doing it. So, anybody else have anything on that topic before we move on?
No, I think we're good.
I mean, we covered a lot. As long as it's not my team, I love the fights. It's like think I mentioned on another episode where, like, as a fan and it's not my team, I love the Crabtree and Talib thing.
Yeah.
But even that, right? You saw the competitiveness. Like, they came out and were like, "Yeah, we're good." Like, just two heated competitors, right? Like, that's kind of what we're saying. That's kind of the point of our show, is like today's game is kind of missing that. But no, I agree with you guys if it can be harnessed and whatnot.
Yeah.
So let's jump into another reason why the AFC West is good. Let's do some over-under win totals. BetMGM is providing us with the over-unders for the 2025 season for the AFC West. Chiefs obviously lead the way at 11.5. Then you have the Chargers and Broncos at 9.5, and then the Raiders at 7.5. Let's let the bottom ones go first. Cody, 7.5 fair, or where are we at on that?
I'm going to take the over on that. And now, listen, I already said that I think the floor at least is an 8-9 season. So by default, that's going over. And also, it's kind of I think it's kind of interesting, and I think it's a lot of writers like apprehension to like completely say that the Raiders will have a better season, because I think they opened last year at 5.5 and they finished at, I think, 5 wins in general. So they didn't even hit the over on that. But I think with everything that's happened with Geno Smith coming along, Chip Kelly, Pete Carroll, the defense, I think we are an 8-9 team if we just do what we know we're capable of. And I think, like I said, I think we can push for a 9-8 record, depending on how games fall, depending on if certain divisional opponents maybe fall a little ways. I think I'd take the over on that 7.5.
Yeah, I think I do too. I give you guys 8. I'll give you guys 8.
Yeah, I think the floor is 8. And I think our ceiling, to be truthful, is 10. Like, I don't think we're getting more than 10. I think we have a tough schedule. It's a lot of going against other teams to get us at 10 wins, but I think the floor is 8 at least.
Timmy, Chargers 9.5. What do you got?
So this is really interesting because, I mean, 9.5, I mean, that's great. But, I mean, let's face it, in the AFC West and the AFC, it's not going to be good enough for playoffs. And I'm still not convinced that, Jim Harbaugh is going to regress in year 2 with his team. He's always made improvements. So I definitely will take the over, because I think they're somewhere around 10 to 12 wins is realistic for the Chargers this season.
I do like them on the over as well. Again, it's all going to come down to scheduling, and can Herbert stay healthy?
Yeah.
I think the Chargers are the team that travels the most this season, right?
Oh, by far.
So, if I'm smashing the over on that, it's at maybe 10 wins. I mean, and not to say that they're not good enough to get minimum 10 wins. I think it's easy, but I think there's a lot of their schedule traveling a lot. But again, though, with all the Charger fans saying that they think that they can take the division, these are the cards you're dealt with. Let's see how you persevere from it,
Isn't like the Chiefs one of the least amount traveled this season?
Probably.
I mean, we're in the middle of the country, so it's like the trip for us anywhere.
I think the Bengals are only traveling 249 total miles or something like that, and the Chargers are like at. I saw
30,
some graphic
30,
for a reel that's like they're at like 500 or not 500, 5,000 traveling miles or something like that. Like, because they're going to Brazil, then they're going all over the country. So.
Well, the Broncos have to travel 6 inches to London, so.
I'm pulling it up.
While he's pulling that up, I just want to say I'm sticking with my early predictions. I'm smashing the over on the Raiders just because they're getting third. Then I'm clearly smashing the under on Chargers.
Chargers travel 37,086 miles.
Yeah, that was close.
You were
5,000. I was close.
Yeah, you nailed it, buddy.
Spot on. Nailed it first try.
So I'm waiting here we go. That's what I was looking for. Hang on. Loading.
I don't know, Cody. I think the ceiling for the Raiders is actually like 12 wins. And my only reasoning for it is I just 1,000% believe in Pete Carroll.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. People forget how competitive the Raiders have been while they weren't good. Like, it didn't equate to wins, but they were still competitive.
Yeah.
And I think Pete Carroll has the ability to make something of it rather quickly.
I think the two things that the Raiders needed was like a legit coach, a leader, and a quarterback. And I think they have improved in those two areas. And, you know, even when we had, I think Josh McDaniels, I think even the season where we let him go and we had Antonio Pierce, I think we went like 7-10 or something like that. I think with all that, and I think we added better pieces than we did then, I feel like we are a better football team than with Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew and all the other stuff. So I want to say like 10 wins, like as for like myself, and I would love 12 wins. And I think Pete Carroll's attitude and culture building that he's done so far, I think it's going to show on the field. And that's why like week 1, I'm very excited to see what the Raiders look like when we roll out there and see like, okay, let's see what real leadership looks like.
Yeah, I'm not saying they are getting 12. I think the ceiling's a little higher than others are given.
I heard 12 wins out of you, so we'll just.
So we have the Chargers, obviously 37,086 miles, and coming in at number 2 is the Rams, 34,832, and then we go all the way down to number 9, Denver, 23,267. And then right below Denver is the Chiefs at 21,695. And all the way down here, Las Vegas, 18,055. And then all the way at the very, very bottom. So let's go to the bottom 3 real quick because this is kind of interesting to me. So Baltimore, 10,647. Buffalo, 10,546. And then Cincinnati, 8,753.
Jeez.
That's wild to me just for the simple fact that those are – I mean, Baltimore and Buffalo are East Coast, and they're not going far much. So, I mean, they're not having to do the cross-country, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, and then the Bengals, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't want them to travel either. Their defense isn't going to go anywhere. So,
are those not the 3 out of the top 4 quarterbacks in the NFL?
Yep.
Well, then right there above them is Detroit at 11,411. So, I mean,
the most popular team in the NFL at the moment.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay, I see a little bit of this. I see what they're trying to do. No, I mean,
where's the script, guys? Where's the script?
Where's the script? Timmy, you got something?
Yeah, so this is a little bit off topic, not really AFC West related, but you know, as we were sitting here watching the game cast here, the kickoff was a little short, right? And now the Chargers got the ball at the 40-yard line by default. I just kind of want to real quick, like, you know, your guys' thoughts. Like, is the 40 too far? Like, should they have left it at the 35 like last season? Because at what point, like, is it going to just keep going until we get to the 50? So I just kind of wanted like your guys' thoughts just real quick on like, do you like if it doesn't go to the landing zone that it automatically goes to the 40?
I just wish they'd go away with all the kick. Just go back to how kickoffs were. Like, if teams want to kick it out of the back of the end zone, let them kick it out of the back of the end zone. Like, I get what they're trying to do. I see why they're trying to do it. At first, I was cool with it. I was like, hey, this is going to make it a lot cooler. And, you know, it didn't really move the needle for me last year just watching it. Just because coaches – it got to a point where the coaches were like, we don't give a shit either. We're just going to bomb it out of the back of the end zone anyways. So, adding 5 yards to it, okay. But, yeah, I mean, I'm indifferent. I'd rather them just go away and just go back to how they used to do. I'm trying to see a Sean Payton surprise onside kick coming out of halftime.
Yes. Yeah.
Not having to announce it. I honestly think they have other things they need to worry about more than they do the kickoffs, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's all I really have on that one.
I think they either go back to how it was. That way we can have the Devin Hesters and Dante Halls of the world, or just do away with kickoffs. 20-yard line, call it a day. Don't try to recreate the wheel or anything here. Like, either do the kickoffs and do what you can to make it safer. Like, you can't hold the hand to make the wall and everything. You can only make it so safe, right? Like, at the end of the day, it's still a physical sport. So either just do normal kickoffs or just do away with them. Plain and simple.
I think what makes this difficult is the NFL is trying to incentivize teams to not kick it out of the end zone, to take them to the 40. Because let's play out this scenario like with the Bears and the Commanders, that Hail Mary pass. Like, if the Bears kick it out of the end zone and they start at the 30, the Commanders have to make up a couple of plays to even get in striking distance, rather than, if they kick it completely out of the end zone to where it's out of the zone and they're up to the 40, now they first play have a shot at the end zone. So, I mean, sure. Like, I think competition wise, like, it'll hopefully disincentivize teams from doing a bunch of, touchbacks. But I think what makes it tough is the NFL is also kind of founded on special teams. And as much as like we want them to go back to the old school, which had a lot of injuries, which is, what they're trying to get away from, we're only probably going to see modifications of the kicking style. I think what they probably should do is maybe scoot the kickoff back to, I think they originally had it at the 30, and now they moved up to the 35 or whatever. Mm-hmm. I would only allow the kicker to have one like lead up strike, let it go from there, rather than sometimes they like start from 10 yards back and then they go for it. One of the things about the kickoffs I hate is that they got rid of the onside. I think notifying teams of the onside is kind of weak. I think let teams, let them be prepared. They got to be on their toes. Don't like tell them, hey, we're going to onside it, and then let them prepare for it. I think that's the fun of, hey, keep your head on a swivel. Like we have the Pat McAfee clip of he boots it, kind of was able to get it after 10 yards. The Saints Super Bowl onside kick that surprised everybody. We're never going to have that now. And at that point, then get rid of onside and do the 4th and 15 to keep the possession, I think is what college does, or the XFL does. But I don't think we'll ever see the end of kickoffs. They'll just be unwatchable, I think. So
yeah, I just hate the fact that like special teams, kick returns, punt returns, like that's how people like Devin Hester became a legend, right?
Right.
And I agree, like some really bad injuries happened, but like just modify the safety part of it, right? You don't have to, touchbacks are still 20, but like you say we're never going to see the onside kicks, the surprise one. We're never going to see another Devin Hester again.
Very rarely. Yeah.
Like, and we probably never would have anyway, right? Like that dude was a special talent. Yeah. But I just feel like with how the kickoffs are now.
Well, like Dante Hall, I remember when he was electrifying, like don't kick it to Hall. Like that was a thing. Don't kick it to Hester. There's not that anymore,
No, you're putting dudes back there who can catch it and like just not fumble, because at the end of the day, these are really hard to get returns on. So I go back and forth because Cody, I think you're right. They are trying to get it safer. You don't want to waste. I don't want to say waste because that seems very insincere. You don't want to have to stop the game for 30 minutes in a lot of games because you have to get somebody stretchered off, right? Like that's never what we want to see. But I don't know. I agree. The surprise onside kicks, the no more Devin. Cordero Patterson might be the last one we saw where it was like, don't kick to him.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know. I miss that part. I love special teams.
Maddie?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same thing. Like, I get you want to be safe, and like I'm not saying like let's throw safety 3 sheets to the wind, but at one point, you're going to keep making all these rule changes. Just start from the 20. Like, just take away kickoffs completely then at this point. Because, like Austin brought it, Devin Hester. There will never be another Devin Hester, another Sean Payton surprise call. And like the more recent times he did it against your Raiders, Cody. His first year back as a head coach, opening kickoff, with Will Lutz, and granted it was unsuccessful, but like we're never going to see that again. Mm-hmm. And for what reason? What is the logic behind it? Like that. So I get the safety aspect of it, but I think that was the least of their concerns. That probably would have been something I would have put on the back burner. Like, let's address, other issues that we're having.
Well, and let's remember, the competition committees, their objective is to make the game better for the audience. And let's be real. Sometimes it's a snooze fest when you're kicking it to the back of the end zone. They start at the 20. Whoever defense is good enough to prevent them from getting that 10 yards or whatever. And then before you know it, you're in a punting situation. And, you know, how do you eliminate that? Well, let's let them start the ball up a little bit further. Let's, you know, tweak this, tweak that, and say it's safety. So, you know, even that, Matt, like, I agree. I think, you know, if it was about safety, I think there's some measures that they can do to help adjust it. But I think this is more or less of like, they just want to get offenses on the field. They don't want the explosive kickoff anymore because it doesn't happen very often. But, you know, also games where it's a matchup between punters doesn't create viewers, you know? So I think that's also a lot of reason why we'll never see that again as well.
True. And I'm going to bring up
defensive games. Give me a punt fest, bro. That makes every one play that much more important. It makes that one punt return that much more important. Yeah, I know everyone wants to see 800 yards and 90 points. Like, I get it. That's woo. But give me the defensive game all day.
Yeah, but we're just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the million.
No, I get
watching it. So
go ahead, Matt. Finish your point, dude.
So, well, the game I was going to bring up was that Monday night game with the Chargers and the Broncos, and they were wearing those ugly uniforms. But like, Andy Royal had the kickoff return and a punt return. Devin Sproul has had the punt return, and that was the first Monday night game where both teams had a kickoff and a punt return on a Monday night game. Mm-hmm. So, or for return for a touchdown. So it's like that is entertainment. Like, yeah, you know, you don't think much about special teams, especially like, you know, maybe when you're a kid and you're growing up and like, yeah, you want to see like the deep Hail Marys and like the big touchdown runs, and you don't think about special teams, but like special teams do matter. And in plays like that, they are entertaining to watch. I mean, again, like, we're not really going to see both teams with a kickoff return for a touchdown like that again. So if they were looking to get more views, I think they probably could have done it a better way. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The league is going in a different direction, and you know, like Cory said, we're 5 people out of millions, and you know, we're peasants to them. So
yeah, I'm trying to see Pat McAfee blow people up on the sideline though. Like, that's what give me some
of
those. Like,
yeah,
Pat McAfee, dude.
Sean Taylor in the Pro Bowl, RIP.
Oh yeah, that was such a great play.
That's what I'm saying though. Like.
Or Antonio Brown drop kicking the Bears punter.
Yeah.
We should have seen the flags, guys. We should have seen the warning signs before now with him.
Yeah. So Timmy, your boy got a touchdown. So
yes, sir.
So we're in under the 2-minute warning now. So let's take the last few minutes here, boys. We're 14 episodes. I mean, this technically would be 15. I mean, 16, whatever. We've had some great guests from Coach Vermeil, Derek Blaylock, Jesse, Bethany, Deb, Dez, all these great guests. Matt, Austin, go ahead and lay out some of the guys you got coming up. For these guys work hard behind the scenes, getting the guests kind of wrapped up. I know we have a lot of people reaching out saying, hey, how you guys doing this? Unfortunately, we're just not there where we want to tell everyone how we're doing and what we're doing. It's not fair to the guests for that. So it's not us trying to be rude or anything. It's just we're trying to stay within the fine lines of being respectful and professional. You know, we want to help everybody, but there's a fine line of this. So I hope you guys don't take that as us being, you know, rude and whatnot. It's just out of respect for the guests that we have on our show. We're just not willing to go to that level of that. So Maddie, Austin, give us kind of a layout. And I think we're okay with, if you guys are okay with sharing who maybe some potential ones maybe.
Yeah, Matt, I'll let you take this one because I think the next 1 or 2 are yours.
Yeah, so I think we talked about it earlier on in the when we started the live, but we have Cincinnati Bengals legend. He also played for the Titans for a little bit, but we got Carl Pickens, receiver for the Bengals. He was the 1992 Rookie of the Year for his draft class. So we got him joining us next week. We have Eric Coleman. He kind of bounced around from team to team, but he still put up some pretty good stats. He made impacts for, I want to say, the Falcons and the Jets. I think he's primarily known for the Jets. Mm-hmm. And then we have Broncos country. We have Matt Prater. He will be joining the show. We're just trying to confirm a date, but he's excited to come on the show. Cory and I are getting our questions ready. So that's who we have coming up on my side of the house.
Yeah, and then we'll follow that up. One guy we're still trying to work out a date and everything is Kevin Dyson. Kind of a big time receiver. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people remember him for a certain play.
For all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, but the dude was still a hell of a player.
He made the catch. He just got stopped. So
yeah. So, I mean, still a hell of a player. Let's be honest. He's still a better receiver today than I ever was or will be. So working on a date with him. We have Eric Warfield, Chiefs former corner, played for Coach Vermeil. We're going to have him join. Another one for Broncos country. We got AJ Johnson, former Bronco linebacker, now MMA fighter. Kind of excited to hear his story. And then we're going to get a Raiders player on towards the end of August, David Amerson, pretty good corner. If you watched any of Quentin Jammer's episode last night, I love my defense. I love my corner. So even though he's a Raider, I'm excited for that. But yeah, I'm also working on a date with former Chiefs linebacker Kawika Mitchell. He was all for joining, but working out a date. So if you can't tell, I'm lining up some defensive players. Not that I, have preferences or anything. That's just kind of how it's going. But yeah, kind of excited for what we have in August and what we'll continue to add to August. And you guys want to make sure to like, subscribe, follow, and to not miss out on any of this.
Absolutely.
Cody, Tim, you guys got anything to add?
Go ahead, Tim.
I mean, Cody does a great job behind the scenes with the graphics and, and Matt does a great job. So, I mean, guys, we're not even 20 episodes. We're not even 30 episodes. And we've landed some great guests. And I can speak confidently for this whole group right here that we are excited for every guest that comes on. We are so thankful. And we appreciate everybody taking time out of their day. Whether you're tuning in, listening, you're in the comment section, we see you. We can't always, address the questions in the comments, but we see you. We appreciate you guys showing out all the time. Like Austin said, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow on all social medias, guys. You don't want to miss out on West War Room Rivals. This party's just getting started, and wait till the season starts. When we got Broncos versus Raiders, Chiefs versus Chargers, and everybody else right there. So follow the West War Room Rivals, guys. And thank you. And thank you to all the guests that continue to take time out of their day to help us make this show even better than what it already is.
Cody?
I got a couple of shout outs here. So first off, shout out to the War Room co-hosts. Also, especially for Cory, who is the brainchild behind majority of this and helped get us on a plan and we're executing it. So shout out to Cory, Austin, and Matt for booking the guests. Tim always coming with questions. You guys behind the scenes, it's a lot of work, but truthfully, the guests that joined us, like Jammer last night, was phenomenal. Bethany, Dez, all the other AFC West fans that come out and create the War Room Soldiers or the Westy Bestie squad. Like, we appreciate you guys always tuning in and coming on and talking with us. And, if this is what we're doing in the off season, imagine what the regular season is going to be like. So I think that's what's super exciting is we are probably anticipating one of the more fun seasons of the AFC West, and what's going on behind the scenes is a credit to a lot of these guys on the screen that are helping making it happen. And we're just on the ground floor, guys. We haven't even made it to floor one yet. And we've had such an amazing run of guests and a lot of great ones too, that are saying that they're willing to come back, which will be a lot of fun in the regular season. So really honored to be a part of the group and really excited for the regular season.
Yeah, I think to just to cap that off on what you just said about guests coming back, I'm not to put too far out, but just to let you know, like, we do put a lot of time and thought into this to where we already have a date picked in October for a very special episode for a couple guests returning. they'll be returning together. I won't say names or throw anything out there, but just to what Cody said, like these guests not only taking time to do it once, but enjoying it enough and appreciating it enough to agree to come back on is a testament to not just all of us, but even the listeners and the Showvengers, the Westy Besties, the War Room Soldier, everyone. It's really just a test to everything going on. So just wanted to piggyback off what Cody said. And like we've already had one confirmed return date with 2 of them. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you don't miss it.
Yeah, and one last thing before we bounce out of here. Yeah, perfect. Maddie, go ahead and we'll let you take that real quick.
Yeah, just real quick, we do reach out to the athletes, but also I want to thank the publicists. And, if there's any publicists that have been willing to check out and watch our show. Again, I'm not going to say any names either until we get a confirmed date, until we get the green light from them. But the ones that are actually willing to give us a shot, and they do come out and they watch the show and like, hey, yeah, I did watch you guys' show. I mean, it was great, and I would love to be, or I showed it to him, and he would love to be on it. So thank you to them for giving us the time of day, because you would think like, here we are, just 5 guys, just barely getting off the ground, and not too much of a following, and they're willing to take a shot. And like, these are Hall of Fame guys that are willing to give us a shot, and these are publicists working for Hall of Fame and Super Bowl champion athletes and coaches that are willing to give us a shot. So big thank you to those guys as well.
Yep,
absolutely.
Yeah, no, well said. So I'm going to wrap it up with this for a couple minutes real quick. Just a little behind the scenes access, early access for you guys of what we have coming for the regular season. So one of the cool, unique things that we want to do is each one of us is going to come up with a segment for an episode. We don't have, unfortunately, we don't have any breaking news for you tonight on what these segments are going to be. That'd be cool to do, but Timmy's going to have his segment. Austin's going to have his segment. Cody's going to have his. Matt and I will have ours, and we're going to break it down each episode. And it's going to be creative. It's going to be thought out. It's going to be, well organized, just because that's what we set here for ourselves. Is it's got to be perfect for us. Like, we don't get a chance. Like, we have one chance. It's just like some of these guys at training camp. We get one chance, right? Like, so we want to make sure that it's all right and it's good to go. So we're going to take these next 5 weeks to not only continue to have the guests on, but we're also gearing up, because when regular season starts, that starts for us too. And we want to make sure that we're being able to, one, be honest, reliable, and want tos, right? Like, you want to come back and watch the War Room, West War Room Rivals. You want to be a Westy Bestie, because we're honest takes, we're reliable takes, we're getting the guest on, and they're giving it. Like, I think there was no one more authentic than Quentin Jammer last night.
Yeah.
And he was very upfront about, hey, I'm just being honest. He said that multiple times last night. Mm-hmm. And those answers, one, were perfect, because it even caught all of us like, dude, thanks for sharing that. Yeah. So we hope you guys enjoy hearing that as much as, we are behind the camera here enjoying it as well. So we're each going to have segment names ready to go for the regular season. We may give you guys a sneak peek as we start getting the vision more clear on what these segments are going to be. So be on the lookout for those. Mom, we see you in the comments. Thank you for tuning in.
Much love for, hey, Matt, Mom's in the comments.
Mom's in the comments.
So Mom's in the comments.
Hi, Mom.
We weren't
Mom,
ignoring
can we
you.
go get ice cream?
Mama Shovik, what up?
So, again, guys, you got to have your support group. We have our support group. Now we're wanting our support group to grow, and we want it to be with you guys. So, again, we talk about, teammates. This is our team. This is what you're going to get. So, again, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Thanks in the comments. Be ready for Tuesday. All right. Timmy, enjoy the second half. There's a lot of good things I've been seeing out of this Chargers group that should get Timmy excited about some of these. So, again, hi, Mom. So from all of us here at the West War Room Rivals, we thank you guys. And don't forget Carl Pickens on Tuesday. Thank you to Spy Optics for the wonderful glasses. Guys, please go use our code Orange20 at checkout for 20% off. Thank you to Angie and her team at Emporia State Federal Credit Union, our bank of choice. it's been almost 10 years now for me, a little longer for him. So again, thank you to that. Thank you to Troy and his group over at Field Ops. Again, those are our sponsors. We love those guys. They're, again, like Cody said, they're taking the chance on us, just 5 random guys who started up a show and we're getting there. So thanks to all the sponsors, and we'll see you guys Tuesday for Carl Pickens.